I went to Walmart and bought every size Rapala floating minnow. The goal? Catch one fish on every lure from smallest,
Looks like we got a really tiny bluegill here.
to largest.
Oh, that scared the living daylights out of me.
Can I catch at every size? Find out today on my first ever Fishing Challenge! The Rapala floating minnow is one of my all-time favorite lures, but I've only ever used the smallest 3 sizes before. So I decided to hit the rivers in New Hampshire to see if I could catch a fish at every size, starting with the smallest.
Alright, we are starting off with the smallest Rapala floating minnow, the F3 size. Now I have caught many fish off this lure before, so I think it'll be fairly easy to catch something.
I definitely shouldn't have said that because I ended up spending the next half hour casting everywhere with no luck. I knew of a hidden brook that fed into the river, so I thought I'd give that a shot too.
This looks like a nice spot to try it. Ooh, one of them was interested in it.
It's coming near! Don't let it go!
Ooh,
Fish!
fish on! Fish on!
That's a small one!
Alright! Looks like we got a really tiny bluegill here. Awesome! First catch of the challenge. Whoop.
It's gone!
And he's gone. Alright, on to the next lure. This is the F5 floating minnow. I expect this to be the easiest one
Don't listen to this guy. He has no idea what he's talking about.
because I use it more than any other size.
Thankfully, through the power of editing, I can fast forward time so that you don't have to see me catch absolutely nothing. Back to the action.
It's coming near! Don't let it go! Fish!
Ooh, fish on!
The hook came off!
Hook again! Aw, man!
And that fish really did throw the hook. Quite far, actually. Check out this slow-mo replay. After dozens of casts, I finally found one more spot that had a fish.
It's coming near! Don't let it go!
Ooh,
Fish!
fish on! Fish on! Looks like we got another smallmouth here. Alright! I'll admit that took longer than I expected, but hey, fish number 2 of this challenge. A nice smallmouth bass. What a beautiful fish this is. Alright, let's get you back in the water, buddy. There he goes.
And so the day came to an end, but this challenge was far from over. A few days later, I headed a little further upstream to continue my quest to catch at every size.
Alright, it's a new day and a new opportunity to catch fish. Time to continue this challenge and see if I can catch at every size. It's time to move on up to the F7 Rapala floating minnow. This is the largest one that I've used before, but I think the ones after this are going to be harder to catch with. Just saw some bluegill down there looking at it.
Thankfully, it didn't take long to land another fish, though something about this one caught me completely by surprise.
It's coming near! Don't let it go! Fish!
Ooh, fish on! Fish on! You've got to be kidding me. I think this bluegill's even smaller than the first one I caught. I mean, it's the same size as the lure. What was the plan here, buddy? You weren't going to eat that thing all on your own? Well, it's a catch nonetheless. Easily the smallest fish I've caught off that lure. Let's send you back home, buddy. See ya. Alright, moving up again to the F9 Rapala floating minnow. I've never used one this big before, so I don't know what I can catch.
Thankfully, catch number 4 was just around the corner, and was the biggest one so far too.
It's coming near! Don't let it go! Fish!
Fish on! Fish on! Let's see what we got here. Yep, let's see what we got. Nice. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a largemouth. Awesome. Sweet.
It's a medium!
Now this is a nice fish. Beautiful largemouth bass here. Thanks for the fun, buddy. Let's get you back in the water.
Up next is the F11 Rapala floating minnow, which is 4 3/8 inches in length. Yep, I only had to take one cast on this thing to get a fish.
It's coming near! Don't let it go! Fish!
Ooh, fish on! Fish on! Let's see what we got. Oh, look at that! It's a crappie! Nice! I am really surprised that a fish went for something this big. What a beautiful crappie. Really nice catch. I'll be honest, I expected something a little bit bigger off that lure, but hey, I'll take it. Let's get you back in the water.
Evidently, I gotta work on my releases.
Alright, the sun's going down. I don't have a ton of time left here, but let's see if I can complete this challenge by catching something with the F13 Rapala floating minnow. Aside from soft plastics, I don't think I've ever used a lure this big before. But with any luck, I'll be able to catch something.
And any luck I had, or at least I thought I had, after this cast.
It's coming near! Don't let it go! Fish!
Oh, fish on! Fish on!
The hook came off!
Oh, it threw the hook on me! Oh, man. That one looks a little smaller anyways.
It was also around this time that I started to get really tired and wanted to pack up. But what happened next completely woke me up.
Oh, oh my goodness. There's something following it. Oh, that scared the living daylights out of me. Oh my gosh.
As the sun completely set, I decided to give it just one more shot at catching this last fish. And I sure am glad I did.
It's coming near! Don't let it go! Fish!
Ooh, fish on! Whoa, look at that jump! Yeah! Alright, this is the moment we've been waiting for. Wow! Whoa, look at that! Awesome!
Smallmouth bass.
What a beautiful smallmouth bass. So fun to see them jump out of the water like that. And not a moment too soon. The sun has gone down and I gotta make it back home. Thanks for the good fight, buddy, and thank you for being the last fish in this challenge. I am also incredibly lucky because I don't know if you can see that, but the swivel actually wasn't snapped in. I could have very easily lost this lure, especially with how much that smallmouth was jumping.
And with that, my first ever fishing challenge comes to an end. I managed to catch fish on all 6 sizes of Rapala floating minnow. Actually, you didn't fish with the largest F18 Rapala floating minnow? Yeah, well, they don't sell that one in my local Walmart, so I couldn't fish with it. Anyways, I had a lot of fun catching all those fish, and I'm glad I was able to challenge myself to use some larger lures too. I'll definitely have to do more challenges like this in the future. What fishing challenge should I do next? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, and check out my other videos too if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, YouTube is saying that I am live. Let me see if I can zoom in on the chat. Hey, what's going on? Good to see you, Roostertail1. Sup, Bubba? Hope you guys are having a good week. But hey, if you're not, the weekend is coming up. Hey, right on. Thanks for joining, guys.
I think this is going to be a fun one. How are you, man? Haven't seen you in a while. What have you been up to? I've been doing actually a good amount of video editing. I've been working on a lot of fishing adventures. So something I meant to mention it in a community post. I am going to try a new schedule. I mean, it's more or less the same schedule, but behind this scenes, I'm doing something new, which is I'm going to try to keep consistently 1 month of videos in a backlog. So I spent a lot of this past January building that backlog, and so I have videos out to every other Saturday in March, up to March. And I'm hoping the time in between, when I have free time, I'm going to do bonus videos. So like, and those are just, I'm going to release them when I have them. So like that last one I just uploaded on Monday, that was like an example of one. First time ice fishing, that was another one. So I'm going to kind of keep that schedule so that you'll always have a fishing adventure every other Saturday or something very close to that. And then, if I have more time, I'll work on other stuff. Um, let's see. Have you been thinking about the Discord thing? So I have thought about that a little bit. I know there has been a request to start a Discord server, and I'm not sure just yet. The only concern I have is that I would want it to be moderated heavily, and I just don't know if I can personally monitor a Discord server. As long as to keep it to the same standard that I would have this channel at. So that's the only concern I really have. I don't know if I very well could still do it, but that's just something. That's the only thing that's kind of held me back right now. I just know I'm not going to have a ton of time to moderate. Hey, huge fan of the channel. First videos I saw was the AI fishing video. Yeah, that's a good one. So that was like the first really big video. It was the first one I think I released since getting monetized too. I did have one inline spinner guide that got similar views, but both the AI videos did really well. And I think it's just because it was a trendy, it's still a trendy topic, trashing on AI. But it was also like an informative video at the same time, correcting all of the stuff that Fisherman Explains had gotten wrong. But anyways, yeah, nowadays I think Fisherman Explains. I think last stream I heard that he has a fly fishing video out, but yeah, I didn't really sit through it. I don't really know fly fishing well enough to really correct it, and it could be more accurate. I don't know, but I just knowing that the scripting start to finish is AI generated, I just wouldn't trust it. The same way I wouldn't trust something else that's 100% AI generated. Not to say that there isn't an application of AI. But just keep in mind when you're out there, if it feels like AI, you might want to just be careful. But if you saw my AI video, you probably already know that. So, today I am looking. Looks like it's about 5 minutes in. I think we probably have a good enough people that I can explain what's going on here today. So this is something I put together called Fishing GeoGuessr. So if you know the game GeoGuessr, it's basically you're placed in a random place in the world given a Google Street View. And based off of the Google Street View, you have to figure out where in the world it is. So I took that same idea and I thought to myself, I bet we could do a fishing one. And yes, I did make this. Granted, I did not make it alone. I had help, believe it or not, from AI. So I generated a lot of the code that is running this with AI. But granted, I do have a computer background, so I'm able to understand and explain it in a way that, configuring a database and getting that kind of stuff figured out. Right now, I just have it being hosted, on my own computer. I don't know if I'm going to ever make it public, just because I don't know, the legal side of if I have the rights to, show off these images, because I did grab them from a popular fishing app. But this is going to be really fun. We're going to look at a bunch of different situations here. I think I'm going to start with the USA mode, so it's just going to have places from the USA. Each round is going to show us catches from a different state, and we're going to have to figure out where they're from. So I'm going to start off on easy mode. I can't remember the difference between normal and hard, but easy gives away the name of the water body, which might be helpful in some cases, especially if it's like, a reservoir that has to do with like a popular place in the world or in the country. Going ice fishing tomorrow. Any tips on lures? Now, I actually am. I might be going ice fishing tomorrow too. I just got invited. Right now I only use tungsten jigs. So I use tiny little like 4 or 5 millimeter tungsten jigs, and I put a gulp alive waxworm on the end, and it's good for panfish. I caught some perch off of it too. If you want to go for a larger fish, usually live shiners are the way to go. But anyways, let's get started with the game. All right, so you'll see we got a map here, and then over here we have a bunch of pictures to go through. These are catch photos. Now, because I did take these photos, I also had a program to blur out as many faces as I could. Might not be 100% on spot, but these people did publicly post pictures anyways. So, but anyways, yeah. So it looks like we have the different species are up here, And we also know that this is a lake called Moses Lake, and it is in the U.S. So, let's see. That is a nice sized rainbow trout. Wow. That is really nice. And it looks like it was caught in March. So this is maybe a little bit more southern um, than where I live in New Hampshire. Also, just based off the fact, it looks like there's at least one walleye catch. I think it might be down here. Yeah, it's hard to see because it looks like the hands were also recognized as faces and blurred out. Okay, so there's walleye here. There's a lot of largemouth bass. It's somewhere in Washington. When you say Washington, you think it's Washington State or Washington, D.C.? Because I could actually see D.C. I think Washington State might be a little bit too far north. That's a nice crappie, too. Or crappie. Oh, that is a huge bluegill. I didn't even notice that. That's massive. All right, D.C. Washington, D.C. Now, let's see. We know it's in a lake. Bethesda, Biggs Crossroads. Okay, somewhere around here, maybe. Oh, you think it's Washington State? I don't know, man. It's the part that keeps me from thinking that is the fact that they're catching, and I mean it's possible, but rainbow trout in March. I don't know. I feel like they would be kind of cold to catch rainbow trout up in Washington State. Well, let's see. We got a carp. That's also a good sign. I think I don't know. I have this feeling it's a little further south. I don't know if it's necessarily in D.C. It isn't times, thankfully. Yeah, we can take as long as we want. Though I should probably, for the sake of showing other ones, just take a guess. So I'll put it in Washington D.C. Let's see if it's somewhere around here. Probably it might be a little further south, or maybe it is in Washington State. Oh my goodness, look at that. Moses Lake, it truly is in Washington State. Did you look that up? This is crazy. I never would have thought all the way. And so the reason why you see multiple spots here is because these are the different catches. So each of them was caught, somewhere else on the lake. And I just had it configured in a way so that when it draws the distance, it just goes from the closest one. So I was way off with Washington, D.C. And yeah, looks like it was Washington State. Awesome. All right, on to the next round. Let's see here. Wow, that is a huge striper. Oh my goodness. Oh, Chesapeake Bay. Well, that gives us a good idea of where this is. Because I'm pretty sure Chesapeake Bay is near Virginia or the Carolinas. If I recall. Really tested me on my geography here. Hey, any of you guys remember what state Chesapeake Bay is near? I thought it was Virginia, but I can't see any designation. That's also a really nice crappie. Oh, that is a that is a monster snakehead too. Oh my goodness. All right, well, let's see. I think I'll just put it somewhere around here. I think Chesapeake Bay. I thought Chesapeake Bay is around Virginia.
around this area. I'll double check around Georgia just in case. I don't think it was though. I think Chesapeake Bay is further north. This game looks awesome. We'll have to take a deeper dive when I get home. Hey, yeah. Thanks for joining on Just One More Cast. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just put it in Virginia for now. Like around this area. It might even be further north, but one way to find out. All right. Hey, not too bad. I guess it's a little bit further north, but now I know where Chesapeake Bay is. Sweet. So, it looks like a lot of these catches were a little further inland. I think that's is it pronounced the Susquehanna River? That's cool. I've wanted to fish that river. There are a lot of really big carp that go along it, and I'm sure plenty of other fish too. That's a cool one. All right. On to the next round. Okay, so this has to be down south because who's catching a smallmouth bass in December, right? Smallmouth bass, December, definitely has to be south. This is interesting though. Look at that. In May, it looks like this is like a rock formation. that might be